join us for this video, which obviously you've seen from the title screen, is going to be about how to make burgers. Now when you arrive to your lesson, there's a few things that you're going to need to do first before we get started. Now as always, first thing you need to do is wash your hands, which I've already done in preparation for the video. You're going to need to collect your equipment that you're going to require today. Now for you guys in lesson times, you're going to need a metal bowl, which you can collect from the front of the class here. You can need a baking tray, which are going to be in your metal cupboards underneath the sink, and you're going to need a non-stick sheet, which will also be on the front here with me. Now, as you can see, I've got a chopping board and a knife. You won't need this in class, because as you've probably seen from your homework is going to be to pre-chop your onion at home. But just for the sake of this video, I'm going to run through that just in case you can't remember how to chop an onion, so we thought we'd do that now. The last thing you're going to need to do is preheat your oven. So if you go to your ovens, you're going to make sure the left-hand dial is on the picture of the fan, and you're going to want the temperature on 190 degrees C. So you need to get that oven nice and hot before our burgers go into the oven. Right, so let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do then is get our onion chopped. So as you remember from class, I'm sure in year 7, the onion has two sides. You've got the head of the onion, which is the top, and you've got the important part, which is the fluffy, hairy bit at the bottom, which is known as the root. And it's the root that's the most important part of the onion, because that's the bit that keeps it together. So what I'm going to do, you'll see on the camera next to me, using the claw technique, I'm just going to take the head of the onion off very carefully before I peel it. And I'll always clear my workstation, put my rubbish straight into the bin. So that gives us a nice flat bottom to then keep the onion nice and sturdy. I'm then going to get my onion, bridge technique, and I'm going to cut right through the middle of that root. That way the onion stays together. And then I'm just going to spend hopefully only 30 seconds peeling the onion, but you know what it's like, sometimes it takes long. I'm going to try not to cry on camera either, because that would be the worst thing in the world. So I'm going to try and be nice and strong. Let's get that peeled. So there's half. Then you can see, because the root is still on the onion, that onion stayed together. If that root wasn't there, the onion would completely fall to pieces. And again on this one, we're going to want the whole onion. Let's get the skin off. Get that straight into the bin. Out of the way. Riveting video, I'm sure, watching Mr. Hale peel an onion. But we're going to stick with it, because I'm sure if it's nothing else, it's entertaining to watch me struggle to peel an onion, apparently. Let's get that done. There we go. Get in there. Right, once you've peeled your onion, there's a particular way in which you're going to want to chop. So let's clean my chopping board out of the way so it's nice and clean. So, first thing you'll want to do is have the root pointing away from you. Okay, that's the easiest way to do it. And then using my claw technique, now if you can't remember what that is, remember the blade is on my chopping side, my thumb is as far away from the blade as it possibly can be. My thumb is on this side of the onion. My fingertips curl around and hold it in place. I'm going to make some slices now, but I'm not going to slice the whole thing. I'm also just going to put the point of the knife in, and I'm going to pull backwards. So I'm just going to make some cuts, but I'm not cutting all the way through the onion like this. I'm stopping about 3/4 of the way. So from here I'm just going to push down with my claw technique, like so. Yeah. Still using my claw technique. Now if it gets a bit too scary, you don't want to use your claw technique anymore, it's absolutely fine. You can, towards the end, I always change to that bridge technique, so for making that bridge like so. I'm just going to make the last cut here. As you can see, because that root, again, is still together. What you then want to do is turn the root pointing to your left if you are right-handed, so my knife is as far away from the root. Hands on the top, fingers on the top. I'm just going to do a horizontal cut now, just through. And again, use that sawing technique, nice and slow, controlled. But I'm not, obviously watch your fingers when you do this, but I'm not going to go all the way through the onion again. I'm just going to stop just there before we get to the root. And last but not least, then back to my claw technique. And if you start doing downward slices, you can then see you get some lovely diced onion. I'm still using my claw technique. My thumb is still as far away from that blade as I can get it. There we go. Lovely. Put that in the bin, and I'll just very quickly do the second one. So I'm sure you remember what I did. Claw technique, just pushing the knife in, not going all the way to the root again. If you go all the way to the root, the onion will fall apart. Horizontal. Now if you really want to, you could, if you be fancy, you can do 2 horizontal cuts here, and that way the pieces of onion that you dice in a second will be a bit smaller. Sometimes that's a bit nicer to have small chunks of onion. You can always, once you've done your final slices here, like so, there you are. You can always get your knife, it's got a bit of a chiffonade, you can just, with the knife, keep your fingers well clear off the blade, any big chunks you see, just cut down like so. So as I said, that is actually what you're going to do for your homework. You won't be doing that in class because you won't have time to do that, plus make your burgers. So, what we're now going to do is imagine we're starting from your lesson. So you're going to get your metal bowl, you're going to get your meat, and this is where you need to have nice clean hands, because this practical we got our hands dirty, hence why I've taken my wedding ring off and my watch off already and made sure I wash my hands. So I'm going to get my meat and I place that in the bowl, make sure any of the paper that might be on the packaging is off. I can just break that meat up as it goes in. So this is that 500-gram pack of meat. Like so. Oh, those onions are starting to get to me, I'm starting to cry. Come on, be brave. Get that meat in the packet. So break it up. So I've done that, I can go straight into the bin, near us. And then get my onions that I've just done, just chopped, and I can get them into the bowl as well. Now this is where it gets a little bit messy, so what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to get my fingers in there, I'm just going to give that a good mix together. I'm just going to get the onions and that meat to try and bind together, mix in nicely. Now you're never going to get all the onion in there, so say the smaller you chop those pieces of onion, the better it will be for you. So I'm just getting my hands in there, like so. Got nice and mixed in. Because that's mixed as much as I can mix it. So there's still a bit of loose onion in the bowl, that's not a problem. Okay, don't worry too much about that. You can press and squeeze it in. What you're going to do is get yourself your egg. Now the egg is quite an important ingredient for making burgers. Some people think you're going to like fry an egg and put it on your burger. That's not what we're going to use the egg for. The egg is actually to help us bind the meat and the onion and keep its shape when we put it into a burger. So the key word, and I'm sure I'll put it on the video somewhere for you here, is going to be coagulation. So when we use an egg as a binding material, if you like, or a binding ingredient, that's known as coagulation. So that's a really important word for you to remember going on, and we'll test you and do that in the lesson. So I'm going to break my egg, crack my egg, I'm going to crack it into my mixture, again straight into the bin with my eggshell, and I can again get my fingers in there and just literally mix that together. So now it's got a lot more, you can see the difference in my fingers now, it's going to get a lot stickier. So this is why, again, those clean fingers. And now what you're going to notice is going to start picking up that onion a little bit better. So I'm just going to mix that in, make sure it's nice, all mixed together. Okay, get that meat in, mix it up. Now if you were feeling a little bit squeamish about doing this with fingers, you could use a spoon at this stage, like a plastic spoon or a wooden spoon, but I promise you it's going to be much, much easier to do it with the hands. Okay. Now, once that is mixed, I would say to wash your hands out, but there's no point. You're going to have to, at this point, get messy hands anyway. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my baking tray. I'm going to bring that in to here so you can see it. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to make, so this particular set of ingredients will make 4 burgers. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a handful of the meat. I'm going to sort of shape it into almost like tennis ball size. Once it's that tennis ball size, I'm going to place it onto my baking tray. So you're looking for about 4 tennis balls worth. So I'm just going to get it in my hands and I'm just going to shape it like so. So a bit more meat there. So I'm looking for that shape. And I say you'll feel the moisture from the egg, because obviously that's almost like the glue that's binding it. So now you can see that's holding its shape quite nicely. If I hold it down here, be able to see there as well. So once I've done that, I'm going to place that on the baking tray there. That's quite a big burger actually. Make one more. So you'll be able to make 4 in your lesson. Or at home if you choose to do this again at home. Again, it's a little tennis ball shape. Place that next to it. I'll make one more. Why not? There we go. I might actually make that a little bit smaller. Let's do that actually. Just so I get 4. If I don't cook 4, there's just going to be arguments at home with my children because they're going to want to eat these when they get home. So I better make enough for everyone. Make that one there. That's going to take a bit out of this one as well. There we are. That's better. So what I've tried to do there, so even we make mistakes sometimes, I'm trying to make them all the same size, and that's really important. If you had a really, really big, thick burger and then a really, really thin, skinny one, the problem you're going to have is they're going to cook at different rates. So either you're going to have one perfectly cooked burger and then one undercooked or maybe overcooked or burnt. So what I'm going to do, put those 4 tablespoons, and what I'm going to do now is with the palm of my hand, I'm just going to very gently squash that, so it's going to a burger shape. So I put that into that, you'll see that there. So I'm not pushing hard, I'm not going to push all my force down, that's just going to meat and onion go everywhere. So again, we're just going to push down slowly. Yeah. Now if you were to do this again at home, something you can always do, something I actually like to do, now some people think I'm quite strange, but I quite like gherkins. So as well as adding onion in there, I could slice some gherkins up, that could have gone in the mixture. If you're someone who's really brave, so I know Mr. Thompson in our department loves chilies, I don't think I found a chilli that's hot enough for the man. What we could do is slice some chilies up, get chilies in the mixture, mix all that in and put it in. But that's something for you to do when you get home. If you're going to make these again, be a bit more experimental with it. For now, we're going to stick to just nice onion burgers. So that is the preparation work done. All I'm going to do now is I'm going to place these in the oven. So these are going to go in our oven for 25 minutes, and as I already said, on heat 190 degrees. Now obviously depending on the size of your burgers, that cooking time can vary a little bit, so it's a good idea to keep an eye on it. So I'm going to put these in the oven for 25 minutes, and then you're going to rejoin us once I'm ready to take them out. Okay, so the timer for my oven has just gone off, so they've been in the oven now for 25 minutes on 190 degrees C. So what you're going to want to do now, before you take them out, you're going to need to find one of these, which is a temperature probe. So what we're going to do, you're going to take them out of the oven, and you're going to need to put your temperature probe into the largest burger. Now the reason we put it into the largest one, because we know if that one reaches temperature, then all the others would have too. You're going to try and get that probe right into the centre of the burger. Now what you're looking for, you're looking to get any number above 75 degrees Celsius. This is important because we know that bacteria cannot live beyond 75 degrees C. So if you do get it above 75 degrees C, you know that the food is going to be safe to eat. If you take your burgers out and put it into the meat and it's not quite at 75, just pop them back in for a little bit longer and then adjust your cooking time appropriately. Now one thing you are going to want to do in class is make sure you find one of these before you take the burgers out. What we don't want you to do is take the burgers out and then go looking for one of these, because as soon as you get your burgers out of the oven, they're going to start to cool down. So you're going to want to make sure you've got this ready to go, get them out of the oven, stick the temperature probe in straight away. And they say we're looking for that magic number of 75 degrees or above. Alright, so let's get ready. So get my temperature probe ready, it's on. Place it just there so I'm ready. Obviously I'm getting something out of the oven, so make sure you wear oven gloves. And please make sure you don't put anything hot on these wooden surfaces. You either put your baking tray directly on top of your hob, or like me, I've got a couple of heat-proof or heat-protected mats ready to go, so I'm going to put my baking tray directly on top of these. If you put anything on this surface, it's going to burn, and we don't want that because we're in a lovely, nice, brand new school. So, ready to get them out, open the oven. I'm wearing glasses, I'm going to step back before I steam up. That would be great for the video, wouldn't it? Okay, I'm going to get my burgers. Bring them straight over to here. That's it. close my oven, find my biggest burner, I think is this one, temperature probe into the middle, and then hopefully watch that temperature rise. And I'll try and pick it up on this one here. So the temperature probe's going up, we're on 64 at the moment, still rising, still going up, 70, 72, 73, 74, 75. So I've hit 75 on my biggest burner. I'm still going up now. Hopefully this camera next to me will be able to see that number. That's going to be upside down. You can see now I'm still at 78 and so on. And that is perfect. Once you know that's the right temperature, you'll be given a cleaning anti-bac wipe. Give that a wipe. We don't put these in the sink to wash up because obviously they're electrical and they'll break. So we always use just anti-bac wipes and we give them a proper wipe down when we're done. So once you've done that, your burgers will go in the Tupperware box and you can either put them in the fridge and collect them at the end of the day, or if it's a period 5 lesson, take them straight home. Once you get home, to heat these up, just put them back into the oven when you get home. Obviously make sure you've got adult supervision and just again heat them right the way through. Make sure they're hot, piping hot in the middle. Alright, hope you enjoyed and we look forward to seeing you in your lesson.